Oh, hello, it's Miss Connolly. We're going to be looking at fractions today. We were going to be comparing fractions. We're going to be looking at equivalent fractions. If you remember from class, equivalent fractions are fractions that are equal in value. They're equal in size. They're the same. Even though the numbers, the numerator and denominator might be different, it's the same amount. It's the same fraction. So we're going to be looking at fractions that are greater than or less than each other, and we're also going to be looking at fractions that are equivalent. Let's go. You have 2 Google Classroom assignments for math this week. Both are about fractions like we just talked about. So one of the assignments is called 2 Truths and a Lie. We'll go over those directions in a minute. The other one is called Pizza Party Equivalent Fractions. Both are fun. They are different than each other. So for 2 Truths and a Lie, you have a few different pages of questions. Let's read the directions. The directions are here. Use the fraction tiles to help you determine which fraction statement is the lie. Circle the 2 statements that are true. So I'm going to use these 2 circles to circle the statements that are true. One of these statements is not true. It's false. It's a lie. And I have to figure out which one is the lie. So for statement A is claiming that 1/3 plus 1/3 is greater than 1/4. So one way I can show this is by dragging my fraction tiles to see what this statement looks like visually. So I have 1/3 plus 1/3, which was on the left side, and I have to compare that to 1/4. I notice that 2/3, 1/3 plus 1/3, is in fact greater than 1/4. So I know that this statement is true. So remembering I'm circling the 2 statements that are true, A is one of the statements that I should circle. The second statement I'm going to try is 5/6 is less than 2 times 3/8. So I'm going to take 5/6 and drag them off to the side so that I can compare them with 3/8. I'm just going to move this 1/8 out of the way for now so that I can see the comparison here. So I have 2 times 3/8. I know when I'm multiplying fractions, I multiply the whole number times the numerator, and the denominator stays the same. I know that 2 times 3 equals 6, so therefore I know that I'll have 6/8. Another way we did this in the classroom is by showing it with a picture, which I will show you how to do right now. So here we go. I am multiplying 2 wholes times 3/8. So what I'm going to do is draw my fraction bar. I know my denominator here is 8ths, so my fraction bar is going to need to have 8 parts. The way I like to do that is break that up into 4ths and then break each 4th up into 8 parts, or 2 parts each. That helps me make my parts as equal as I can possibly get them. So I know that I first have 3/8. Here's 3/8. I know that I have 2 groups of 3/8 though. So in order to get my whole answer, my final answer, I'm going to need to draw or color in a second group of 3/8. So 1, 2, 3/8. I now have 2 groups of 3/8, one here and one here. So I can count how many 8ths I have all together to give me my answer. So I know my denominator stays the same. The amount of parts I have didn't change. Just the amount I have colored in changed. So I have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. My final answer is 6/8. Let's go move those fraction tiles. So I'm going to move 6/8 next to, or underneath actually, the 5/6 so that I can compare them and see if statement B is true or a lie. Four, 5, 6/8. Statement B said that 5/6 is less than 2 times 3/8 or 6/8. I just discovered with my picture here, with the fraction tiles and with the picture that I drew, that that is actually untrue. That's the lie. Lie. B is a lie. Let's just make sure that B is a lie by making sure that C is actually true. Make sure I didn't make a mistake. So I'm going to take 3/4, move it over to the side so I can look at them. 3/4 minus 1/4. So I have 3/4. Now I have to take one of those fourths away. So now I have 2/4. Let me just move that over a little bit so I can still see the words. So 3/4 minus 1/4 is 2/4. I'm going to compare that to 1/2. Statement C is saying that they're equal or equivalent. So let's see. Here's my 1/2. They're equivalent. C is correct. C is true. B is the lie. B is the lie. All right, so you're going to do that for each of these. Figure out which statements are true, circle them, find out which statement is a total liar. Our second extremely fun assignment this week is about equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are fractions that are equal in value. They're the same size. They're the same amount. They're the same thing. The difference is the numbers might look different. So let's look at the directions and we'll see what we're supposed to do here. You have several different pages of pizzas. Let's try this second page out. The directions say, complete the recipe below by dragging the pizza toppings onto the pizza to show the equivalent fractions. So the first one I have is pepperoni. It says I need to put 2/3 of the pizza with pepperoni. I need to cover 2/3 of the pizza with pepperoni. I just said that, but that's okay. So you're going to drag the pepperoni onto 2/3 of your pizza. So I notice that my pizza is broken up into thirds. So I already have 3 parts. I'm just going to drag the pepperoni so it covers 2 of those thirds. So 2 of these slices need to have pepperoni on it. Boom, there we go. I should open a pizza shop. All right, next one. This is easy. Mushrooms. 4/6 of my pizza need mushrooms. Okay, I can do that. I'll just drag some mushrooms on. Wait a minute. I have thirds here. And I need to show 4/6 of my pizza with mushrooms. So what I'm going to have to do is compare these two fractions and find something that's equivalent, because I need to show 4/6, but I can only show it in thirds. So let's go take a peek at how to do that. Okay, so I have been given the challenge of finding a fraction with a denominator of 3 that is equal or equivalent to 4/6. I know my denominator has to be 3 because my pizza is broken up into 3 parts or thirds. I know it has to be equivalent to 4/6 because that's the amount of mushrooms I need to put on my pizza. 4/6 of my pizza needs to have mushrooms on it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make 2 fraction bars. One will represent my pizza broken up into thirds. Here's my pizza broken up into thirds. The other will represent how many mushrooms I need based on sixths. So I'm going to break my second fraction bar into 6 parts. In order to show how many mushrooms I need, I broke my bar into 6 parts, and I need to color in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/6 of mushrooms. I can compare this amount to how much I need on my pizza. So I need to color in thirds, or the slices of pizza, until I have the same amount as the 4/6. So let's try that. I'm going to color in 1/3. Does that look like it's enough? Have I reached all the way to how much I have of mushrooms in my 4/6 fraction bar? I don't think so either. So let's color in one more and see how we do. Now I have 2/3 colored in. What do you notice? I notice that they look the same, and I remember that that word is equivalent. So I just found out that 4/6 is equivalent to 2/3. So I'm gonna need to put 2/3 of mushrooms on my pizza, or my pizza needs to have 2/3 of it with mushrooms on it. Let's go do that. Okay, I now know that 4/6 is equivalent to 2/3. So I'm going to cover 2/3 of my pizza with mushrooms. It does not say that it has to be the same 2/3 as my pepperoni, so I just need to make sure that 2 of these pizza slices have mushrooms on them. So this one will have mushrooms, and this one's gonna have mushrooms. All right, so now it's time to solve how many onions I need. It says here that I need 4/12 of onions, just like we figured out here. I don't have my pizza broken up into 12ths, so something I'm going to have to do is figure out with my fraction bar what fraction with the denominator 3 or thirds is equivalent to the fraction 4/12. We meet again. I have a pizza broken up into thirds. I have 4/12 of my pizza needing onions on it. So again, I'm gonna make 2 fraction bars. One will represent the pizza, broken up into thirds. The other fraction bar will represent the onions. So I'm going to need here 12 parts in this fraction bar. Of my onions, 4 of those 12ths need to be colored in. 2, 3, 4. Here's 4/12. That represents my onions. Just like we did for the mushrooms, I need to color in my slices of pizza to an equivalent amount to 4/12. So I'm gonna color in 1/3 and see how we do. I notice that 1/3 takes up the same amount of space in my fraction bar as 4/12. So I'm gonna put down that 1/3 of my pizza, one slice, needs to have onions on it. Let's go. Okie dokie. So 1/3 of my pizza needs to have onions on it. I'm gonna drag these onions to the slice of my choice. Choosing this one. It's gonna be a veggie lover slice. There we go. Last one. 6/6 of my pizza is going to have broccoli on it. Probably a lot of you don't want to eat this pizza anymore, but that's okay. I'm still going to follow the recipe. So let's go figure out with a fraction bar how much of my pizza is going to have broccoli on it. Probably several of you already know how much my pizza will have with broccoli on it. All right, last, and to be honest, probably least, we have 3 slices of pizza with 6/6 covered in broccoli. There we go. We need to figure out how much of the pizza needs broccoli. We know that it needs 6/6. We need to figure out how many slices need broccoli. So again, I'm gonna create my pizza fraction bar using thirds. I'm going to create my broccoli fraction bar using sixths. I notice that for my broccoli, 6 of the sixths need to be colored in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I notice that 6/6 equals 1 whole. My whole fraction bar is colored in here. Something I know when I have 3/3, if I'm comparing that to a whole, if I need it to be equivalent, it's also going to be the whole thing. So I'm going to have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. I colored in my whole fraction bar until there was no space left, and that equaled 3/3 or my whole pizza. So unfortunately for all you broccoli haters, the whole pizza will be covered in broccoli. My whole pizza is getting broccoli. Let's do this. This slice gets broccoli. This slice gets broccoli. This slice gets broccoli. So 3/3 or 6/6 or 1 whole of my pizza now has broccoli on it. I hope you have enjoyed playing Two Truths and a Lie with me. I hope you have enjoyed making pizzas with me. I hope you enjoy finishing both of those assignments on your own. Make sure in the comments to let me know which pizza you would prefer to eat once you have finished the assignment. Also, make sure you're turning in your assignments so we can unlock the math games of the week for you. Also, make sure you're signing up for a conference with your math and science teacher so that we can see your beautiful faces on Zoom. We will see you guys later. And that's all I got. Bye.